I just wanted to give a little bit of background. As Bob said, I was born in Tapachula, Chiapas, in the southern part of Mexico. And it was a very normal type of family, you know, Chinese in Mexico type of thing. And in a grocery store, and living with my grandparents and uncles and aunts, and I really had a really wonderful childhood, now that I look back. And I didn't realize how important family or your identity was until I actually came to Canada. And started to realize that everything is really connected. And when people ask me, well, what are you? What do you consider yourself? And I recently saw a commercial that I really clicked, and I thought, I'm a Chexican. Chinese, Mexican, Canadian. That's what I am. So whatever way you want to put it, that's what I am. And I'm very proud to be a Chexican, basically. I want to read a little part about my grandmother's story. And this is about one of the things that I learned by writing this book. I had heard, of course, little things about the family, little things about her life, but I didn't know a lot, basically. I learned that she had come from China through El Salvador, and that's why she was holding a Salvadorian passport, right? And I learned that she had an arranged marriage. I learned that my grandfather was quite a lot older than my grandmother. And I learned a lot of things about the family. I also, when I went back to Mexico writing this book, I gained 20 pounds, just like Bob, because Mommy just spoiled me. She cooked everything that I wanted in those 2 weeks, and I wish I couldn't stay for more. But anyways, I want to read a little bit about when she's telling me about her arranged marriage. So I'm asking my grandmother, so Mommy, how did you and Teti meet? Mommy answers, we had matchmakers. We could not choose a groom or go out on a date. In my case, I did not decide or even know I was getting married. My parents decided I had reached the age to get married. Then, my mother and close older female relatives invited the matchmaker to have tea and discuss all my personal information. At that time, the matchmaker was usually an older, well-respected woman in the community. According to the tradition, the matchmaker would write everything on a red piece of paper and would keep tabs on who was ready for marriage and the attributes each family was looking for. It was not just two people getting married. The union was between two families. So everything about the families was important to consider. The boy's family wanted to know about any illnesses or diseases in the girl's family, their wealth, any jobs that had been held among the closest relatives, the family's place in society and its reputation, as well as the girl's habits, skills, and attitudes. A boy's family would look for the girl's abilities to cook, clean the house, take care of her husband and his family. It would be best if the girl did not smoke, did not drink, or do drugs. She could not be a tomboy or opinionated either. She should be respectful, loyal, delicate, and quiet. Mom continues, my father wasn't very involved in looking for my future husband. He probably had spoken with my mother, so it was her responsibility to look after this. My mother would get the names of a few prospects from the matchmaker, and also would ask around if anybody knew of a boy wanting to get married. Then she would get into conversations with the neighbors or a shopkeeper and ask discreetly about the boy's family, and she would know which families were good or bad. But it was the boy and his family who realistically and ultimately chose the bride and her family. The groom-to-be had many chances to look and inquire about a girl and her family. His family would meet the matchmaker and give her lacy, which is a red envelope with lucky money, every time the boy wanted to take a look at a girl. Then his family would also request a matchmaker for a prospective girl's red paper and would ask around about the girl and her family. The girl would be sent out on errands, and the matchmaker would let the boy know where the girl would be so he would have as many chances as he wanted to see her, though he could never approach her. His family would also rely on the matchmaker's opinions as well as the advice of a fortune teller to determine if the families would be compatible. Once the boy liked what he saw and his family was satisfied with her family history, his family would then invite the girl's family for a tea ceremony at his home. The girl's mother, father, and only the married women in her family could attend, like the women who were married to my older brothers. Then they would all choose a proper date for the wedding. We girls never had the chance to look at any boys and choose. Being a girl, I would never even know that a certain boy was looking at me to be his bride. I was never present during the meetings with the matchmaker either. One day, I was just told that in a week I would get married. And from that time until the wedding, I was locked in one room in the house where female relatives and girlfriends took turns keeping me company and bringing me food. I could have no male visitors at all. I spent all 7 days before my wedding in this room where I was entertained, had meals served to me, washed myself, and slept. I do not remember the details during this week, but only it was the one time in my life when I was the focus of so much attention and care for female family members, my mother's girlfriends and neighbors.